All right, now there's a new report out that claims the U.S. Border Patrol is releasing hundreds of illegal immigrants because the detention centers are packed. They're overcrowded. National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. Brandon, now I've heard from others say, well, that's not true. They don't just release and throw these people out there. Is that happening?
It is happening. What we're looking at is we're looking at a crisis that is larger than any crisis that I've dealt with in my 21-year career as a Border Patrol agent. We're holding more people. Our detention facilities are packed. We're taking more agents out of the field to do essentially babysit. There's a lot of things that are happening, and because of this stress and the stress factor of the number of people that we're currently holding, we're starting to walk them out what we call our front door, and we're letting them go.
Where do they go,
It's the catch and release program again.
Where do they go?
Well, from there, they disperse throughout the United States. We got a lot of people that are going up to Georgia. You got a lot of people that are going up to Massachusetts, to Boston. They're dispersing throughout the entire United States from that point. They're going, most of them will go to the Greyhound bus station and take a bus ticket to wherever they're going. They're supposed to eventually show up to a future court date in which they have the right to try to prove that they should be allowed to remain in the United States. But the vast majority of these individuals never show up to their court date, and they disappear into what Obama termed the shadows of society. So
the ones that are let out, and keep in mind, I'm sure you're on top of your facts, but others say that this is not happening. So if you'll just indulge me, if it is happening and people are being let go, is there a pecking order? Who is let go? In other words, you wouldn't let a murderer go or a rapist, that kind of person in the population.
No, of course not.
So how do you decide who goes in that event?
So the first people that you're looking at is you're going to look at the female heads of household. You're going to look there first and hope that that's going to alleviate some of the stress. The family units will then be, the full family units will then be next. So there is absolutely a pecking order. We do not let murderers go. We don't let known rapists
but you
go.
Don't have any
let
ability,
people
whoever
like
these
that
people
go.
are, you let go, whether they're their mothers or head of the family. There's no way
Correct.
to keep following them, right? You don't have the resources to do that, so you really have no idea where they end up, right?
No, we don't. I mean, they do have to provide us with an address that they say that they're going to, and that's the address that will ultimately serve their court documents to. But again, whether or not they actually go there, we never know.
All right. In the end, would a longer, firmer, bigger wall prevent this sort of thing? The president says yes.
Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to be able to physically keep people from entering the United States. If they set one foot in the United States, they have the right to claim asylum. Once they claim asylum, they get put through that process. If we're able to physically keep people out and to monitor the number of people that are coming through the actual ports of entry, which is the legal way to do it, then we can effectively drive down these numbers of people that are crossing the border illegally. But unfortunately, it's just not happening today.
All right. So this emergency, as the president declares it, is very much an emergency to you.
Yeah, I agree with him 100%. Again, 21 years in the Border Patrol. I was right in the thick of everything in the Tucson sector when we were making more arrests than at any time in the history of the Border Patrol. Right now, we're dealing with more people. We're on pace to deal with more people than we've ever dealt with before. Right. This is, in fact, an emergency. It's greater than 2014. It's greater than the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. This is an emergency, and we're seeing the effects of it right now.
Brandon Judd, National Border Patrol Council President, thank you very, very much.